I found out that 4 girls that I have at least dated for a few weeks are dead. Isn't that crazy? 4?
For real?
Yeah. Like either someone, one of them I dated for like a month. One of them I dated for a summer. One of them I dated for a year. And the other one was more like a, fling.
Yeah.
All 4 are dead.
How'd they die?
One of them died in a car accident. One of them was a fall.
That's Xanax.
Yeah. One of them was an illness. One of them's missing. So I guess we just assume she's dead.
You sound like the guy from that Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Netflix documentary?
Which one?
The one where they showed up in scuba suits.
Oh, yeah. American Nightmare.
American Nightmare. Yeah. That is the best fucking
Well,
guy.
also the guy, though, when he's telling the story, he's like, and she's gone. And you're like, that's your sad face? He's like, and I just wanted to help her, Anyway.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're not really emoting well.
What time did you wake up? And he's like, like 11?
Yeah.
And you waited till 1:30 to call us? Well, they were watching me.
They were watching me with the camera up there. And the detectives are like, okay, so
how about he goes, the one detective's like, buddy, what I do is I tell who's talking shit and you're talking shit. Like, this is a lie.
Yeah.
And I know you're lying. And then the one guy that did the fucking polygraph, by the way, if you haven't seen this doc, it's so fucking
American
good.
Nightmare. It's so well done. I still think though, okay.
Don't even spoil alert.
No,
it.
let's spoil. Yeah, we just spoil it now. Let's just ruin it.
Let's ruin it.
Yeah,
Let's ruin it. If you haven't seen this, and by the way, we're going to talk about Spaceman next.
But when you watched it, okay, episode 1
Yes.
focuses on the male
Yes.
victim,
Yes.
suspect. When you watching episode 1, aren't you like, hey man, something's up with you?
He killed her.
Yeah, because
Your sheets aren't on your bed anymore.
But also-
you waited till everything. There were 3 guys in scuba outfits.
but don't you feel like the way that his emotions read, you're like, these don't feel like, and then the thing is, he's present day, like for the documentary, but then they show you the interrogation room and it's exactly the same. He's like, yeah, and then they came in and like, oh God, I want her back. And then they're like, okay. And you watch that whole thing and you're like, this guy is definitely full of shit.
yeah.
And then the second episode starts with the girl and she's like, yeah, they took me. And she has the same level of emotion where you're like, you don't believe her until the end of episode 2.
You don't
That's
believe
when you
her
start to
when
go
she
like,
goes when you
okay.
see her walking into her parents' house casually on her cell phone, like you're like in her nursing outfit, I think it looked like.
Yeah,
and you're like, this is fucking horseshit.
And then to learn in episode 3 is when you go, wait, they're telling the truth?
The only thing crazier than the 2 of them is the guy who kidnapped her, who's like, first of all, she's not lying. I did kidnap her.
Yeah. And you better not accuse her of lying again.
Yeah, you better not, or I'll start kidnapping your kids.
Yeah, he's fucking, and he's giving advice. He's like, first of all, you have terrible locks. You need an alarm system. Get a bigger dog.
You should get a dog.
Like, it's the most banana story.
Him breaking into people's house about people and then stopping and going, yeah, you're right, I fucked up. That's the wildest thing in the world.
Yeah.
He broke into that lady's house.
Yeah.
And then was like, and then no one believed any of the fucking women.
Yeah.
No one believed. Now that we're celebrating National Women's Month,
Yes.
we should just step up and say all those people that work at fucking Vallejo Police Dispatch.
That was horrible.
They should be fucking fired.
And
The FBI guy was fucking his ex-wife.
he had such a conflict of interest. Like, he should have recused himself from the case. And then when he gets the lead, like the groundbreaking lead, he's like, yeah, we'll look into it. She's like, aren't you like flipping out right now that I gave you this? He's like, I don't know.
We need
Maybe.
to do an eye test. Yeah. Let's get some sodas and talk this through first.
Yeah. It's very bizarre. The only thing that like kind of goes over most people's mind though, is that when you're watching the detectives and how shitty they handle themselves, you have to remind yourself that you actually felt that way about this guy too when you start.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I never thought.
Yeah.
So
So
funny.
like when you're watching him, you're like, this fucking guy's full of shit. And then you're watching the detectives and they're like, yeah, you're fucking full of shit.
Yeah.
So you actually are aligned with the detective and you don't realize it.
Oh yeah, I never realized that because I at a certain point have the foresight to know
Exactly.
Oh, that she really did get abducted.
Yeah.
They've caught the guy.
But they just they leaned so hard into their full of shit that they blast them on the news. The chief of police is like, burn that bitch. It's fucking, and then they question him in the depth and he's like, I don't remember saying that.
Burn that bitch.
It doesn't sound like my vocabulary.
Bert and Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.